Alrighty then. This is Computer Forensics regarding intrusion detection and intrusion prevention systems, a presentation by me, Jose Torres. Okay, an introduction of IDS and IPS services. An intrusion detection system is a security tool used to monitor network traffic through its packets and port connections. They also keep track of any devices on network and their activity too. The main purpose they serve is to look out for any suspicious or malicious threats, such as a spike in network traffic or any unknown connections. They detail these abnormalities before sending an alert to a security or forensics team. And on the other hand, we have an intrusion prevention system, which is a step up from an IDS. They monitor traffic as well, but they also have the ability to shut down any malicious connections or suspicious traffic. This helps automate security by letting simple threats be handled by an IPS, and a security team can then focus on more complex issues or stuff that can't really be handled through automation. Both an IDS and IPS operate under machine learning and tracking packet signatures, but IPS also allows for policies to be implemented so that they can have more specialized deductions. For example, they can lock out certain nodes from connecting to some servers, or they can set privileges on certain devices. All right, major vendors for IDS and IPS services. One of the most popular services for IPS and IDS is Snort. Snort is an open source IPS that offers standard monitoring tools, such as packet sniffing through TCP dump and packet logging for network debugging. It offers easy configuration and lightweight design, making it perfect for personal use or for a small company's network. Suricata, on the other hand, is another provider for IDS and IPS services. They pride themselves on giving a wide range of customization and features. They also monitor multiple things such as HTTP ports, DNS queries, TLS, SSL certifications, and more. They also allow for complex Lua scripting, so they can design a network IDS or IPS that fits a company's guidelines perfectly. And lastly, we have Cisco NG IPS, which offers a more enterprise-focused service. NG IPS has a very deep level of threat management, with their rule sets being updated every 2 hours, making it highly efficient. NGIPS also offers great scalability with their management service, and it offers high flexibility and also great expansion for networks. Okay, here is a feature matrix of the previous services I talked about, Snort, Suricata, and Cisco NGIPS. In terms of type, Snort and Suricata are both open source, meaning that anyone can view the code and how it's made. Snort is more focused on being an IPS. It does have IDS capabilities, but an IPS is what it is known for. Suricata, on the other hand, has both IDS and IPS capabilities. And Cisco NGIPS is enterprise focused, like I said, meaning it's more closed source and will be, like the name, is more of like a next generation service. In terms of rule sets, we have Snort's predefined ones under the name Talos, and also other user-defined rules can be added. Suricata has a rule set known as emerging threats, and they can also use other companies' rule sets such as Talos and other user-defined rule sets. Cisco NGIPS uses their own version of Talos, derived from Snort, but also, as I said before, keep a custom up-to-date policy rule where every 2 hours the policies of the IPS will be updated in order for maximum security. Main features, like I talked about, packet sniffing, packet logging, real-time alerts, deep network monitoring through HTTP, DNS, TLS, SSL, and then advanced threat protection. In terms of customization, Snort is very user-friendly, it's lightweight. Advanced configurations are possible in long runs, but it's mostly meant to be more for just like consumer friendly. Suricata is very flexible with its customization, and as I mentioned, it has Lua scripting for more specified rule sets and network monitoring. And Cisco offers a management interface that lets security teams view their IPS under a more larger scale. And in terms of scalability, Snort is more for smaller networks. Large networks can use Snort, but there are more benefits for smaller networks. Suricata, since it's very feature rich, it can work on any scale. It just depends on how a security team sets up the platform. And in terms of Cisco NG-IPS, it is very much so built for commercial networks and enterprises. And as I will talk about, most of these features stem from its appliances, such as the Firepower series. Okay, and here we have the pricing of products. With most IDS and IPS, they will tend to um, be offered on a subscription-based service. In terms of something like Snort, they offer personal and commercial license. A personal license would run you like around $30 a year, while something like their commercial licenses would be $400 a year. It all just depends on um, what network is being operated on. And stuff like NG-IPS requires an appliance to really bring out the full functionality of the IPS. Uh, in Cisco's website, they mention the Firepower series, a firewall and IPS sort of all-in-one appliance. This appliance is said to be like a jack of all trades in terms of security. And with that, companies can find themselves like for something on the lower end of the Firepower series, like the 1000s, could cost around $1,000, but then higher end products like the Firepower 4000 series could cost more, around like tens of thousands, like maybe 50K. It all just depends on what is needed in terms of what the network is operating on, like a campus or perhaps like a more higher end office. It all just depends on those factors. All right, IDS and IPS in relation to computer forensics. So circling back to the original question, how do these two services relate to computer forensics? Well, the main purpose in a network for a computer forensics specialist is to set a baseline for how traffic operates and compare this baseline to any malicious activity or any sort of random spike in traffic to see if it's normal or not. With this, an IDS and IPS is very useful since they're the main functionality of one is logging any type of traffic that occurs on a network. And with that, it can help computer forensics specialists set the baseline. And in terms of how it gives a direct notification to forensic analysis or security teams, it helps sort of give more specific analysis where a computer forensic specialist can find themselves just searching specific nodes that have higher network traffic or more malicious traffic rather than prodding the entire network for any sort of faulty security. Another benefit for IDS and IPS is the way they have um, management centers where they collect all the logs they have gathered and make it into a more manageable graph or data sheet. And with computer forensic specialists, they can have a clear understanding of what's going on around a network and also have a sort of documentation on events whenever they occur. Like, for example, if there was a data breach, they would have a sort of timeline of how the network traffic was moving and document and make reports off of that. Okay, comparing IDS and IPS to other services. So in terms of comparison, it's pretty difficult to compare IDS and IPS to other services because security tools tend to just work hand in hand, and these services are no different. They offer um, defense in more like deeper parts of a network, but that doesn't stop like comparisons from being made. For example, something like a firewall would be compared to IDS and IPS. Uh, Firewalls offer security on exit and entry points, and they also help filter out any unwanted traffic from outside of a network. These um, security tools usually run around outside of a router or be the first device after packets entered through a router. Uh, they usually just work off perimeter. They are meant for controlling the gates to a network. Uh, Unlike IDS and IPS, where they can operate more inside of the network itself, and they may, like, for example, be able to stop threats that slip past the firewall. Another security tool could be the Security Information Event Management Service. This is a security tool that acts as a sort of log collection of every single security device or network device on the network. Essentially, IDS works under this, both IDS and IPS. They will send all of its data not only to their own management centers, but also to the SIEM to have a complete data sheet for all network devices. And this could work for anything from firewalls, routers, web servers, cloud services, even Active Directory. All of those would go funnel into an SIEM for a security team to just look at and have a complete data sheet of a network. Okay. In conclusion, IDS and IPS offer essential assets for security teams. They offer logging of network traffic. They offer automated responses to malicious threats. They offer multiple protections of various sources like HTTP ports, DNS queries, SSL certifications. Computer forensics specialists can find them to be highly valuable as they offer baselines for network and help offer solutions in terms of giving them a specific node to look at in protecting a network. For example, telling them if a network's activity on a certain node is higher than usual and giving them a baseline of maybe there has been a breach or maybe there is a policy that needs to be worked on, etc. Uh, they also help document any data breach or policy being broken on a network. They can help sort of file reports and gather evidence on uh, the malicious use of technology within a company. IDS and IPS services are just very crucial to security in general. Uh, this has been my presentation. Thank you for giving me your time, and I'm signing out.